Hi, all you SPMEs out there. Today's question has 3 answers, and the third answer is a secret you're going to want to stick around for, because I'm going to tell you the exact length that is important for your short stories in order to make as much money as possible out of them. Now, let's get into it. The question that was sent in to me today was how to self-publish short stories on Amazon. Now, this is an excellent question because most likely the person asking it has already written a short story and is wondering, is it long enough to actually publish it on Amazon? Maybe I need to do something special with this because it is a short story and not a book. And so when you're putting it onto Amazon, you need to label it as such when you're getting it onto the platform to make sure it doesn't create any problems. And there are problems that can indeed be created here, and we are going to discuss all of them today. This is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com, where self-publishing doesn't have to be so hard. Hit the subscribe bell if you'd like for me to make more videos like this one, and check out below in the description and grab a copy of my absolutely free self-publishing checklist that will make sure you're not skipping any of the necessary steps to make money off of your self-published books, both in terms of creating them and also in terms of marketing. Now, so how to self-publish short stories on Amazon? Well, let's take a look at my story for a second. When I first got started on Amazon, I was not doing short stories. I was doing non-fiction writing. I was writing about subjects for which I was very familiar with, very excited about, and was looking to help other people out, both in terms of goals and habits and all sorts of stuff that's related to getting things done. Now, after a while, I began to understand something, which was I came into the side of realizing you can pay ghostwriters to write books, and if it's on topics that people are very interested in, those books will sell and will start making you a lot more money than maybe even writing books on things you're interested in. Now, that was something I was very interested in. Now, none of these were short stories, but they were very short books. Right? Some of them as short as just a couple pages. I was just curious, taking one of my children's essays from school and throwing it onto Amazon to see if it would sell. And of course, everything you put on Amazon sells. So even just a couple pages was sufficient in order to get those sales to come through, right? So when it comes to short stories, would it be any different? Would there be something special about that? Well, how to self-publish short stories on Amazon? Let's get into the answers for today. The first, it's that there is no limit to minimum length of a Kindle book. Now, I'm assuming we're talking about a page at least. Maybe if you tried one sentence, a Kindle may respond to that. I could just imagine you trying to do a single word as your entire book. Though I know people do this low content book strategy where you have many pages that are all blank, but I think they'll still count as pages. And you're going to have a table of contents and a disclaimer and a thank you page, and maybe asking people to subscribe to your newsletter or whatever, and that as a result of those, you will see that you're going to have more than one page. But even if it were just a few pages, that's just fine. So the answer is no problem with short stories. Amazon will call these things short reads, and it will be in its own category when they see that its number of pages is limited. Okay? So that's something we're definitely going to want to keep in mind, but that has no impact on your sales. And in fact, I've discovered you can make quite a bit more money off of shorter books. Okay, now I know I'm going against the tide because a lot of other fake gurus out there will tell you, oh, the book needs to be 20 or 30,000 words, or if it's fiction, it needs to be 100,000. And that is complete nonsense. You can get away with a book that's 3,000 words, and you can even make sales on a book that's only 1,000 words in length. Now, in the old days, these would make you more money because they would download or pay to do a read, and you would get paid, compensated for each time somebody did that download before they started measuring pages read by your readers. So back then, everybody was pumping out very, very short books. Now that time has changed, but I still find my short books with people today that are so distracted, it pulls people in. In fact, I also, over the years, sometimes when I want a solution, I'm not looking to read a large 5-volume tome on how to go about publishing something. I just want to get in and get out. I want to understand. I get into the book, I read the book, it tells me how to do something. and then that's fantastic. In fact, right now I'm reading a book called Indistractable. Now, it's a little bit longer. I think it's a 5-hour listen to. I listen in double speed, but still, I just want the point. And so some people with short stories, that's the thing, that short stories are great. They're like an appetizer. You can just very quickly consume them, and then you're done. And so I believe there's a great deal of value you can do on the short stories. Now, there is a couple traps here. One of them is that sometimes people can be disappointed if they believe the book should be 1,000 pages and it's just a short story. So you might label it as a short story, just so they're not confused when they buy the book. Usually we're talking about an ebook they would be buying, right? Number 2, the process is the same as for a full book. So the 3 main phases, which are going to be the keyword research, making sure we're writing to a market that actually even cares about the type of book we're writing, or short story. The content itself, that's the cover, the description, all of these things need to be optimized. Even for a short story, it's the same as for a long book. And the third thing is your marketing. So we're going to run ads against it, and we're going to be continuing doing email marketing. So we're going to find readers and add them to our email list so we can get reviews from those same people who enjoy our books to ensure that other readers will be able to find our content. So same rules as for a long book. And so in some ways that can be the downside too, because it's more work to create that description and get that high quality cover and all of the research behind it. Though in reality, I still would argue you make more money off a shorter book. Moving on to number 3, and this is our secret answer of the day. It is that if you want a paperback version of your book, you need to hit 3,000 words. It's about 25 pages. So, and I would highly recommend, if you can write a short story that hits at least that distance, which by definition, even that this 3,000 words would be a short story, then you should definitely do it. Now, if you're going to go shorter than that, you can, but that means you can only have the Kindle or EPUB version of it. You will not be able to get a paperback because the paperback has to have a certain thickness to even be accepted in the store. So, but if you do have a Kindle version, you can get an Audible version, audiobook version through ACX. You can actually do it. You have to have that Kindle version, so this is very important, okay? Now, once you've got that Kindle version, you put the Audible book. Now, if with 3,000 words, we're pushing about 15 to 20 minutes, which, believe it or not, people every single day are buying books of mine that are 20 minutes in length. So this should not distract you. Plus, you can combine these books together to form bundles and make even more money off of it from that route. So there's a whole series of strategies here that you're not going to want to ignore. So with your short story, you definitely should put it out there. You're going to get it in Kindle version. And if you can get to that 3,000 word mark, which I highly recommend, then we can get our paperback versions out. And the paperback versions make maybe double the amount of money that the Kindle versions make, even for short books. Though some people like to complain about the length of the book, the reality is it's listed on the page. You can actually even throw it in the description. This is a short story. It's only 25 pages, just so you know. So that they would be aware. And on pricing, make sure on your Kindle books you sell it at the $3 pricing, okay? So if you're doing a single short story, it's $3. I don't care if you have a long story, it's still $3. So we simply do not change that price. And if it's a paperback, make sure you're making $5 on each of your books, okay? So that's a very, very important strategy that's also going to help you make more money on each of the books you have. And if you're selling lots of copies, then we slowly raise the price, okay? On your paperback, but not on the Kindle. The Kindle's used to bring readers in and hopefully get them to buy our paperback versions of these books. So, how to self-publish short stories on Amazon? Why don't you tell me what you have found? Have you actually gone about publishing? I have never published a short story on Amazon, but I would be very interested to hear if you have and have succeeded. What went right? What went wrong? Let me know below in the comments, and check up above me here for more videos answering your self-publishing questions. Thanks.